1942. This is how Disney's Bambi was animated, by hand, frame by frame. Soviet and Polish troops liberate prisoners from the Sachsenhausen concentration camp. Germany, 1945. Monks from Asakusa Temple prepare for the Sino-Japanese War. Japan, 1936. A family portrait of a couple from the Netherlands, 1929. Copy. Violet Jessup, Queen of Sinking Ships. She survived the Titanic, the Olympic, and the Britannic, all within 5 years. Vesna Vulovic, a Serbian flight attendant who survived the highest freefall without a parachute from 33,000 feet in 1972. In the photo, a black police officer stands next to a Ku Klux Klan member, protecting him from an angry mob. Texas, 1983. A 6-month-old winner of the Most Beautiful Child of America contest in 1927, Marcia Pinklefield. People going to a rally and leaving after the rally. Poster, Russian Empire, 1917. German soldiers lead Polish girls to be executed, 1941. The last day of gold distribution by the government, China, 1949. Titanic survivors, Marjorie and Charlotte Collier, in New York, 1912. A strike by African American sanitation workers asserting their dignity. The signs read, "I am a man," USA, 1968. The arrest of Rosa Parks for refusing to move to the whites-only section of the bus, USA, 1956. In the early 60s, a mugger in Los Angeles was targeting elderly women. The police set a trap. Officers dressed up as grandmothers and patrolled the streets. The plan worked. The criminal was quickly caught. Dice made of human bones, found during a search of the home of Ed Gein, American serial killer, necrophile, and body snatcher. He is one of the most notorious serial killers in U.S. history. Human Cannonball Act at a carnival, Massachusetts, 1991. Refugees flee south from North Korea on a train to escape advancing communist forces from the north, 1950. Loading the first hard drive onto a Pan-American plane, 1965. It weighed about 2,000 pounds and held only 5 megabytes. Today's phone replaces thousands of those drives. Punt gun used for duck hunting, banned because it could kill up to 50 ducks at once, 1910s. In 1969, a protest against the use of bras was held in San Francisco. Feminist cat, 1910s. 18-year-old Keisha Thomas protects a fallen man, suspected of having ties to the Ku Klux Klan from an enraged crowd of protesters. Michigan, USA, 1996. A woman's wild reaction to Mardi Gras, participants in New Orleans, 1980s. German companies supplying the Third Reich during World War II. German soldiers march in front of the armistice wagon, where in 1918, Germany signed the surrender to France. 22 years later, France would sign the surrender to the Reich in the same wagon. Two women display their bare legs in public for the first time in Toronto, Canada, 1937. Excavation of the Berezovsky Mammoth, Russian Empire, 1901. After the atomic bombing of Hiroshima in August 1945, 70 to 80,000 people died from the explosion. By the end of the year, due to radiation and other consequences, the total number of victims exceeded 150,000. A Vietnamese child and his father, who was accused of aiding North Vietnamese partisans, 1966. The Strangler, Sakhalin, 1903. A woman could strangle a man if she caught him cheating, but not all women had enough strength. Thus, the profession of stranglers emerged. The wives of astronauts involved in Apollo 8, hearing their husbands' voices while they were in orbit, 1968. Engineer plugging in one of the first computers, 1958. UK, 1943. A proud member of the Women's Corps shows off her new tattoo, a symbol of rebellion and style. The world's largest monument to Stalin was unveiled in Prague, Poland, in 1955. It was nicknamed the Line for Meat by the people. Residents of a Lithuanian village greeting a column of German tanks, 1941. During Prohibition in the U.S., it was illegal to produce, sell, or transport alcohol. As a result, winemakers resorted to tricks to survive in the new environment. For example, they started selling grape concentrates in bricks, labeling them with warnings. After dissolving the contents in a gallon of water, do not store the liquid in a closed cupboard, as after 20 days, it will turn into wine. Tsar Cannon, 1883. It is believed that the Tsar cannon never fired and was made just to instill fear in foreigners. Pretty Boy Floyd, a public favorite. In 1930s America, he robbed banks, and with each heist, he destroyed all the mortgage records, thereby relieving hundreds of people of their mortgage payments. There are theories that Hitler escaped. According to the most popular, he and Eva Braun left doubles behind and hid in South America, where they lived to old age under false names. The photo allegedly captures a 75-year-old Hitler. In the 1950s, tits in Britain learned to open the aluminum foil tops of milk bottles and quickly taught this skill to their peers, forcing people to start using protective covers. 11-year-old Grace Bedell from Westfield, New York, wrote to Lincoln, advising him to grow a beard to look more appealing and win a bet, which her brothers promised to vote for him if he did. Human-powered tractor for moving heavy stones. England around 1880. Loading a 5-megabyte hard drive into a plane, 1956. This massive IBM unit weighed over a ton. The Hunter brothers inspect the engine during their 23-day non-stop flight, 1930. Don't be afraid, boy. Mommy is nearby. Italy, 1940. Soviet Air Force bombing of Helsinki, Finland, 1939, Winter War. A boy plays with a homemade toy truck made of wire. Maun, Botswana, 1974. In the USA, slaves were forced to wear iron masks to prevent them from eating, singing, and speaking their native language. Slavery was abolished in the US in 1865 and in Brazil in 1888. Women prepare anti-tank trenches around Moscow, 1941. Punishment for drunkenness in Chechnya, 1990. A rare photo of people enjoying casual conversation on September 11, 2001. Betty Page, a popular pinup model of the 1950s, became fascinated with religion at the end of her career, which affected her mental health. In 1972, she was admitted to a psychiatric hospital after attacking her family with a knife, believing they did not pray hard enough. She was discharged several times but returned again. At 54, she attacked her neighbor, claiming that God sent her to kill. From then on, she remained in the hospital until 1992. In the second photo, they are not pedestrians, but daring owners of bicycles and mopeds. Henry Freeman in Whitby was the sole survivor of a storm, thanks to a cork life jacket that other crew members refused to wear. After this, life jackets became mandatory, 1890. Wartime improvisation, 1942. Stockings were scarce in World War II, so women painted lines down their legs to fake the look. This is a Soviet woman who lost 7 sons during World War II. In 1914, at the request of the US government, Russia sent about 2,000 engineers to help establish a heavy military industry in the USA. A man is strapped to the electric chair in Addis Ababa prison, Ethiopia, 1950. Hitler's reaction to the outbreak of WWI, 1914. Then unknown, Adolf Hitler cheers with the crowd in Munich. In the winter of 1950, the Korean War reached a brutal peak. This photo shows thousands of refugees risking their lives to cross the shattered beams of the Taedong Bridge. An old Halloween costume. North Koreans running in tears at the funeral of their leader, Kim Jong-il, December 17, 2011. This is not sodomy, but a patient at an orthopedic appointment. Stunned by the beauty he saw, the orthopedist grabbed a piece of metal with his right hand, while doing something unclear with the other. Heads of 7 major U.S. tobacco companies testify under oath that nicotine is not addictive, 1994. Car washes in 1920s USA. In 1948, a local tribal chief in North Dakota weeps as he is forced to sign a treaty handing over fertile land in the Missouri River Flats, his tribe's homeland, under the threat of his people's destruction. On the ruins of the Brest Fortress, 1961. Egyptians watching the airship Graf Zeppelin flying over the pyramids of Giza, 1931. Sophia Loren in an advertisement for marinated anchovies, USA, 1951. a 19th century gun for hunting waterfowl, capable of killing around 50 birds with one shot. Fans waiting for a Beatles concert, 1964. The Holocaust Memorial in Budapest. At this location, Jews were ordered to remove their shoes before they were shot into the Danube River. One of the few survivors of Andersonville, a prisoner of war camp, established by Confederates during the American Civil War. This photo was taken immediately after liberation in May 1865. Repairing faults on the Graf Zeppelin airship during a flight in 1934. Happy people embarking on their last journey on the Titanic, 1912. In the 19th century, ketchup was sold as an effective remedy for rheumatism, diarrhea, and eczema. This made some sense, as lycopene in tomatoes is beneficial, though not a cure-all, and it helped some due to its properties. In Soviet Russia, some prisoners, fearing for their lives, would tattoo images of Stalin on their chest or other parts of their body, because guards were not allowed to shoot at images of their national leaders. In the early last century, weight loss products were extremely dangerous. Pills containing dinitrophenol were sold. They prevented calories from turning into fat, but caused lethal poisoning. Love is stronger than all prejudices. A woman cheerfully pours whiskey from her cane, 1922. For 13 years, the U.S. had prohibition, and alcohol was poured out of barrels and mugs during raids. But everyone wanted a drink, including this lady. Mass burning of the Parangi, Vale, Andijan, Uzbekistan, 1927. Carrier pigeons are now rarely used for letters, but successfully perform other tasks. In Europe, they transport blood samples to hospitals, and drug dealers use whole flocks to smuggle substances from Afghanistan to Pakistan. The completion of the assembly of the bomb, called Fat Man. It would later be dropped on Nagasaki in 1945. Future President of Lithuania, Dalia Grybauskaitė, working at a construction site, USSR, 1971. French resistance members in Cherbourg shaving the heads of women who collaborated with the Nazis, World War II. New Year in a Soviet psychiatric hospital, 1988. Corporal Adil Sahin and Lieutenant Hall, the last living Turkish and Australian participants of the Battle of Gallipoli, at the very spot where they tried to kill each other 75 years before this meeting, 1990. Emotions at the funeral of beloved leader Kim Jong-il, 2011. Luftwaffe pilots at the ritual of welcoming new pilots into their ranks, 1942. The meaning of the ritual was to burn away their fear. Chinese mobile phone market, China, 2001. 19th century vampire hunting kit. We have returned home, USSR, during World War II. In ancient Egypt, makeup was worn not only by women, but also by men. War orphans searching for food, Tokyo, 1946. All war propaganda, All cries, lies, and hatred always come from people who will not go to that war. George Orwell. Girls painting clock dials with radioactive paint. Most of them would later die from radiation sickness. 1922. Before Hitler arrived in Paris, the French cut all the cables of the Eiffel Tower elevators. When the Führer wanted to go up, the elevator didn't work. He would have had to walk, so he refused. Parisians proudly say that Hitler conquered France, but the Eiffel Tower was beyond his reach. 1935. Engineers and laborers on a pipeline segment over the canyon at the Hoover Dam construction site. There are no safety ropes or helmets, only suits, hats, and a stoic look for the camera. Strike of Working Children, USA, 1902. Thank you for watching this video until the end. I hope these photos impressed you. Some may have made you angry, brought a smile, made you happy, or perhaps even caused some negativity. Feel free to leave your comments and stay tuned for the next part. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Bye.